Welcome back. We've been going really deep on these lessons, so make sure that you stay strong with your commitment of going deep into all the pieces of soul work. These lessons in themselves are an activation and a transmission, and you'll upgrade a lot watching them, but remember the real work is at 80% and going deeper within. So yesterday, we alchemized fear. We got into the root cause, and today we are going to be blasting through self-sabotage. So usually self-sabotage kicks in at the last minute, right before you're going to actually manifest what it is that you desire. So if you master self-sabotage, it's going to massively accelerate you forward. There are so many people that I've worked with where the self-sabotage kicks in and they come to me as their coach and as their mentor and they tell me, I'm sabotaging myself. I have a health goal, but I just started eating that thing again. I had this money savings goal, but I just went and spent this money. And I actually celebrate that. I celebrate that they're self-aware enough that they're able to catch the self-sabotage. And I'm excited that this pattern is kicking in because often this is our last attempt from our unconscious to keep us safe and keep us in the known and keep us in the comfort zone. Okay? So self-sabotage can show up in your life as really huge things. You could sabotage yourself in a really dramatic way, but self-sabotage can also be really subtle and it can be sneaky. It can even be little thoughts in your head that pop up where you say, I don't know if I'm actually good enough to do this, or, I don't actually know if this manifestation's possible. Maybe it's not going to show up. You must become a master at catching self-sabotage. Remember, it's not about not having self-sabotage. It's about catching it. That's 95% of the game, because if you can have enough self-awareness to catch your own self-sabotage patterns that are attempting to click in, then you can change them. You can recode them. And this is a little bit different around how you handle self-sabotage compared to how we looked at fear, for example, because handling self-sabotage is very in the moment. So your first task is to journal and create a list of all the ways that you have self-sabotaged yourself in the past. Maybe these are really big ways. Maybe these are small ways. Maybe these have been little thoughts that actually pop into your head. What's important is that you start being self-aware of what self-sabotage specifically has looked like for you. Once you've done that, and only once you've done that, you're going to go into the second piece of journaling and ask yourself, when I connect with my manifestation for this quest, what are all of the ways that I could potentially screw this up? And I know this might sound like a strange question, maybe a not very spiritual question to ask, but it's really important that you know what you're capable of. It's really important that you look at what are all the different ways that you could sabotage this? What are all the different ways that you could potentially screw this up? So when you connect with your manifestation for this quest, you might say, you know what? Well, I have the capacity to potentially just drop out of the quest and not watch the rest of these videos. Maybe I could sabotage this and screw it up by telling myself a story that I don't have enough time now to do the soul work. Maybe I could screw this up by allowing something in my external reality to take priority, in which case I say, I no longer do this manifestation quest thing. Maybe you're going to have stories in your head that tell you you're not good enough to actually manifest what it is that you desire in this quest. Maybe you have a self-sabotage pattern running of a story or some layers of self-talk that says it's impossible that it shows up before the end of this quest. I'm giving you some ideas. Go deep with this. Get really clear on this. Because if you're able to put everything out on the table and go, wow, okay, here's all the ways that I could screw it up. Here's all of my self-sabotage patterns. Here's all the things that I could do. You're not just going to be catching the self-sabotage if it shows up. You're ready for it. In fact, you're looking for it. You're aware of it. You're able to cut it off at the curb and say, no. You don't even need to kick in, because I'm not available to that. We talked about raising your minimum standard in a previous lesson, accelerating your level of tolerance. This is part of this. Okay, you know what? I no longer tolerate these sabotage patterns. I no longer tolerate acting like that. I no longer tolerate making those excuses. Whatever it is for you, your system can now see, okay, this is no longer a surprise that's going to show up. You're actually ready and waiting for it if it does happen. So for your third piece of soul work, you're going to go in and ask yourself, what are you committed to when it comes to your old self-sabotage patterns? If these patterns do show up, what are you going to do differently? And when you catch these self-sabotage patterns, what behaviors are you then going to lock in instead of the sabotage pattern? What thoughts are you going to start thinking instead of the old sabotaging thoughts? What actions are you going to take? Get clear on this. This is how you recode your system from the inside out. This is how we update the computer software package to no longer be running on these unconscious self-sabotaging patterns. So I'm super excited for you to go deep with this. Please share this into the tribe. The more that you share in the group, the more you're going to show other people what's possible, and you're going to be witnessed in your breakthroughs and your transformations. And make sure you look at what everyone else is sharing, because you might see some self-sabotage patterns written from someone else where you go, oh wait, hang on, actually, I have that one too. No, wait, let me adjust mine. I'm no longer going to tolerate this. So go deep with this, have fun with this, and I'm excited to see you on the next lesson.